Hi everyone, this is Amar Gajare. Welcome back to my channel ITTECHSTACKS. So today we are going to perform some lab exercises on GKE, which is Google Cloud Kubernetes Engine. Okay, in our last module we have learned what is container, what are Kubernetes, what are Google Kubernetes Engine, hybrid and multi-cloud, and Anthos. Okay, just to give you some background, what is a cluster and a container. Okay, so you must have already gone through these my previous module. So if not, kindly go through my previous module. So the containers, the idea of the container is to give the independent scalability of workload in PaaS, which is platform as a service, and an abstraction layer of a operating system and hardware in IaaS, which is infrastructure as a services. So it's a configurable system which lets you install your favorite runtime, web server, database or middleware. Okay, you can configure the underlying system resources such as disk space, disk IOs or networking, and build as you like. Okay, so this is what container all about. So in this module, let's learn about few lab exercises Google Cloud GKE, which is Google Kubernetes Engine. Okay, so the objective of this course or this module is, first one is to provision a Kubernetes cluster using Kubernetes Engine. Second one is to deploy and manage Docker containers using kubectl command. Okay, so let's begin with the task 1. So guys, let's start. So before we begin, we have to confirm that the needed APIs are enabled. Okay, to perform this Google Kubernetes Engine operation. Okay, so for that, go to the navigation menu, click on API and services, enabled API and services. Okay, okay, so if you can see here, it's showing the list of APIs which are enabled already. Okay, so we have to check the Kubernetes Engine API and container registry API are enabled. So Kubernetes Engine API and container APIs. Okay, so if you can see the container registry API, it is listed here, and Kubernetes Engine API should have also been enabled. So guys, we can't see the Kubernetes Engine API enabled. We can only see container registry API is enabled. So to enable that, click on enable APIs and services, and you can search the Kubernetes Engine API. Okay, so here it is, click on it. Okay, click on the manage. Okay, so this API looks good. So this API is also enabled. Okay, so the next step is start Kubernetes Engine cluster. So how do we start the Kubernetes Engine cluster? To start Kubernetes Engine cluster, click on the Active Cloud Shell on the top right corner. You can find Active Cloud Shell icon. Click on it. That will open one more window, terminal for Cloud Shell. Okay. So here at the Cloud Shell prompt, you need to type the command export my zone as US East 1 C. Okay, so let's perform this. Export my zone key value as US East 1 C. Press enter. So now we have a my zone value as US East 1 C. Okay, start the Kubernetes cluster now, which is managed by Kubernetes Engine, and name the cluster as web frontend and configure it in node 2. Okay, so for that, let's run this command: gcloud container cluster create web frontend. Okay, and zone is my zone, $my zone, which is US East 1 C, and number of nodes are 2. Okay, so once you press enter, it pops up one more message and to authorize it. So let's authorize it, and this command takes few minutes to create cluster as Kubernetes Engine provisions virtual machines for you. Okay, so let's wait for some more time. Okay, and once after this cluster gets created, okay, then you need to check your installed version of the Kubernetes using the kubectl command. Okay, let it run. So let me pause my screen meanwhile. Okay guys, so it's almost 4 minutes over, 5 minutes. Still clusters creation is in progress. Okay, so we have to wait for some more time. It takes several minutes to create a cluster as Kubernetes Engine provisions virtual machines for you. Okay, so let's wait for some more time. I'll pause here. So okay guys, now you can see my cluster, Kubernetes cluster got created with the name web frontend. Okay, and to the location US East 1. So, and you can see it's created on node 2 and the current status is running. Okay, now let's check the Kubernetes CTL Kubernetes cluster versions by running the kubectl command. Okay, let's check it. Okay, so if you can see here, the Kubernetes cluster version is displayed here. Now, to check whether the Kubernetes cluster is ready, you can cross-check those things by going through the navigation menu, okay, and click on the Compute Engine and VM instances. You should be able to see the clusters created. Okay, so as you can see, the clusters created on 2 nodes. So these are the 2 node clusters created, which means the virtual instances created in the backend. Okay, so I hope you understood so far. Okay, so now let's see the next task, how to run and deploy a container. Okay, so now from our Cloud Shell prompt, let's launch a single instance of Nginx container. Okay, so Nginx container is a popular web server. So let's launch a single instance of Nginx container for now using the command kubectl. Okay, kubectl create deploy. So what we are doing here is we are trying to create and deploy containers. Kubectl create deploy Nginx web server, okay, and which we are trying to deploy. Okay, just to inform you, I have already covered in my previous module. So in Kubernetes, all containers run in pods. Okay, this use of the kubectl command to create command caused Kubernetes to create a deployment consisting of a single pod containing the Nginx container. Okay, so let me press enter. Okay, as you can see, deployment apps Nginx created. Okay. Okay, and a Kubernetes deployment keeps a given number of pods up and running even in the event of failures among the nodes on which they run. In this command, what we have ran just now, this is used to create and deploy Nginx web server, okay, container. So now, how to view the pod running in the Nginx containers? So again, you need to use the kubectl command. Okay, get pods details. This will provide you the pod details. Okay. Now let's see how we can expose the Nginx container to the internet. So for that, let's run this again kubectl command. Okay, so again run this kubectl command to expose the expose the Nginx container to the internet. Okay, so Kubernetes creates a service and an external load balancer with a public IP. Okay, public IP addresses. The IP address remains the same for the life of the service. Any network traffic to the public IP address is routed to pods behind the service, and in this case it's a Nginx pod. Okay, so now let's see how we can view the new services. Again, run a kubectl command, get services. This will show you the number of services running. Okay, and they are, one is Kubernetes and one is Nginx. Okay, so guys, as you can see in my first tab, first command, kubectl get services, there were no external IP got created. So after some time when I run the same command, the external IP address got created. So let me try and rerunning the same command again. So as you can see, Nginx, there is the external IP address got created. So we can copy it and paste it. Okay, so you can copy and paste it in the sticky notes. Okay, so I have pasted here in the notepad. Okay, so external IP address got created for the Nginx web server. So let's copy this external IP address and put it in the web browser URL. So this will show the welcome to Nginx banner. Okay, so so in this new web browser, whenever you paste the external IP address into the address bar, the default home page of Nginx browser is displayed. Okay, now to scale up the number of pods running on the service on your services, then you can use the kubectl scale deployment Nginx replica 3. This command you can use. Okay, so this is kubectl scale deployment Nginx -- replicas 3. When you press enter, so this gets scaled. Okay, okay, so again, now to confirm the Kubernetes has updated the number of pods, you again run the kubectl get pod command. Kubectl get pods here. So in this kubectl scale command, we have explicitly mentioned that the replicas must be 3. So you can see the 3 replicas or pods get created for the cluster. Okay, so let's check whether the IP address got changed or not. So IP address is not yet changed. Now go back to the web browser, refresh. So you can still see the welcome to Nginx command. Now hope you understood the GKE cluster lab exercises. So in this module we checked and confirmed the needed APIs are enabled, okay, and the APIs like Kubernetes Engine API and the container registry API must be enabled before you start working on the console. Okay, so and the second task we have worked on starting the Kubernetes Engine cluster, okay, using the command shell or active cloud shell. Later part we checked how to run and deploy a container using kubectl command. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed a lot. Kindly do subscribe and like my channel so that I can bring a new and exciting lab exercises videos. Thank you so much guys.